I'm going to preview the 5 seed Baylor versus the 1 seed USC, or you could say vice versa. Women's basketball game on March 30th at 4:30 p.m. Central Time on ESPN. The game will be played in Portland, Oregon, in the Moda Center. And I apologize for looking down if I have to, because I cannot memorize all the stats for USC here. And I'll go over some players to keep an eye on. And I did hear last night about somebody that might be potentially available for USC, but it's like one of those players that's 1.5 points per game or less. So, obviously, the best player for USC is Juju Watkins. Number 12, 6'2" guard that's a freshman. 26.9 points per game. 63 for 193 on threes. 220 for 261 on free throws. 10.3 rebounds per game. 3.3 assists per game. But here's the thing about her. 4.2 turnovers per game. 2.4 steals per game. 1.6 blocks per game. 2.7 fouls per game. And is Mackenzie Forbes, number 25, 6-foot guard, that's a senior, 14 points per game, 73 for 197 on threes, 70 for 90 on free throws, 3.1 rebounds per game, 3.3 assists per game, 2.2 turnovers per game, 0.9 steals per game, 2.1 fouls per game. Raya Marshall, number 13, 6'4" center, that's a junior, 10.2 points per game, 0 for 1 on threes, 55 for 81 on free throws, 10.3 rebounds per game, 1.3 turnovers per game, 1.2 steals per game, 2.1 blocks per game, 2.3 fouls per game. Kayla Padilla, number 45. And she's a 5'9" guard for sure. Yep, you got her jersey number right. Good. 8 points per game, 63 for 142 on threes, 26 for 34 on free throws, 2.6 assists per game, 0.8 turnovers per game, 0.8 steals per game, 1.6 fouls per game. Kaylin Davis, number 24, 6'2" forward. That's a senior. 6.2 points per game, 0 for 3 on threes, 30 for 49 on free throws, 5.8 rebounds per game, 1.1 turnovers per game, 0.9 steals per game, 2.7 blocks per game, 2.7 fouls per game. Taylor Bigby, number 1, 6'1" guard. That's a sophomore, 5 points per game, 36 for 98 on threes, 20 for 28 on free throws, 0.7 steals per game, 1.3 fouls per game. Kayla Williams, number 4, 5'7" guard. That's a senior, 2.8 points per game, 8 for 29 on threes, 12 for 20 on free throws, 0.8 fouls per game. Dominique Darius, number 21, 5'10" guard. That's a sophomore, 2.5 points per game, 5 for 22 on threes, 11 for 15 on free throws, 0.6 turnovers per game, and 0.6 fouls per game. Clarice Akunwafo, number 34, 6'6" center. That's a junior. 2.1 points per game, 5 for 17 on free throws, 2.8 rebounds per game, 0.8 turnovers per game, 0.8 blocks per game, 2 fouls per game. And all the other players that could play, by the way, for USC are like 1.5 points per game or less. And I will put that in the description below so y'all can see it. I'm not going to even mention those. I'm going to go right ahead and state all of them. I mean, that's Melanie Samuels, number 10, 5'6" guard. That's a freshman, 1.5 points per game, 6'18" on threes, 2 for 4 on free throws, 0.6 steals per game, 0.8 fouls per game. Aaliyah Gales, that's the player I was referring to. I heard late last night that she could be available to play, but I don't know if she's really going to play given all the other players they have. 1.4 points per game, 1 for 4 on threes, 1 for 4 on free throws, 1 turnover per game, 0.7 fouls per game. Indian Otto, which I don't think she's going to play, but 5'9" guard, that's a senior, 11.1 points per game, 2 for 6 on threes, and that's it. Roxanne Makalo, which she actually was at TCU when I looked it up, number 30, 5'10" guard, that's a senior, 0.9 points per game, 0 for 1 on threes, 3 for 5 on free throws, and 1.2 fouls per game. Across the board, you don't know about the officiating and how questionable. And how is it going to really be? So you got to play through it. And you got to adjust to it. And you got to make adjustments both offensively and defensively. Not just quarter to quarter, not half to half, but possession by possession. Like media break to media break or timeout to timeout. You got to out-hustle the other team. I mean, that's true on USC. You got to get them in foul trouble while limiting your foul trouble on your own. And I would dare to say, even if you get Juju Watkins in foul trouble, she will go off still. Look what she did in that Stanford game this year. She had two fouls in the first quarter. She went off for 51. I mean, that's the thing. And on defense, I don't know about shutting down Juju Watkins, but it would be nice to shut it down. But I would dare to say it's more likely to slow her down as much as possible. That's the thing. Make her ineffective, kind of like you did in that last game against Georgia A. Moore. That's what I would consider to do, and contain the shooters, contain the slashers. And you don't want to give any open looks to these shooters because they will knock them down. And I could tell that Kansas played some zone and they tore it up. They made some shots and they even went to man-to-man. It still didn't work. So I'm just telling the truth. And you got to rebound the ball. And the losses this year, Baylor has lost a rebounding battle by a certain margin. You got to limit the points in the paint too, because that is another stat right there. When Baylor loses, it's because they don't. The difference in the points in the paint favors the other team and the rebounding. And I get last game against Virginia Tech, Baylor was out rebound, but it was only by 1. It's not like 10 or 5 or anything like that. I'm just saying. That's just making a note right there on that. And you don't want to especially give them like second chance points like on the kick out threes or putbacks. You got to limit the fast break points. I mean, that's what and limit the points out turnovers. That's kind of what USC lived off of on Kansas some of it last game. When you look at the numbers. It's the truth. You don't want to let them live at the free throw line either. I mean, that's the thing. And all this. And I would dare to say you got to, like I said, contain the shooters, contain the slashers. Got to rebound the ball, which includes boxing out. And expect some long rebounds if it's coming off of 3-point shots. So you got to find a way to get the ball. I mean, that's another truth in the matter in this game. I don't know about shutting down Juju Watkins, but slow her down. Make her ineffective. Force turnovers. I mean, that's the thing. And it would be great to have some charges and steals and all that. And blocks if you can. But I'm just saying, you got to find a way to force some turnovers. Especially some live ball ones. I mean, that's the thing. And on offense, get some transition points. Get some points in the paint. And of course, you want to try to make some threes. And hopefully you make a little bit more on threes. And get to the free throw line as well. And hopefully you make your free throws count in this game. Unlike the Virginia Tech game. But I know Jada Walker was money from the free throw line, though. Don't get me wrong. It's just the percentage for the game, though. I mean, that's the thing. You got to have good shot selection. You got to make USC uncomfortable on defense. Besides uncomfortable on offense for USC. You got to take care of the ball. USC took advantage all those turnovers last game against Kansas. It's the truth. You got to get some second chance points, and you got to rebound the ball. In order to get some second chance points, you got to rebound the ball. And I get USC may have a little bit more height, but at least we have more like a day ahead to prepare for USC than USC does for Baylor. I'm just telling the truth because Baylor played on a Sunday, USC played late Monday night. Central Time, that is. Though I know it's like 2 hour difference. And this is practically a home game for USC right here. Because Portland to Los Angeles was a lot closer than Portland to Waco. It is what it is on this. You don't want to have like illegal screens or obviously you don't want to have flagrant fouls or technical fouls. I mean, that's the thing. And you got to keep your cool. You got to. You don't want to get some cheap technical foul either. I mean, you got to withstand some runs at times while making adjustments. And you got to get some stops on defense. And the good news is for Baylor, they're one of the best three-point shooting defenses in the country. But still, you need to find a way to limit their three-pointers for USC. You got to find a way. And I would dare to say against USC when Baylor's on defense is simple. Make those three-point shooters take shots they normally don't take. Make them shoot long twos. And I'm not saying get them to the basket either. I'm just saying make them shoot long twos. And contest everything. And all this. And let's be the hunted. Let's beat the hunter, not the hunted. All the pressure is on USC. They're the 1 seed. I mean, I'm just telling the truth. And it would be helpful if Dre Edwards would step up on the bench. And we need her in this game, especially with the front court. We really do. And I know technically there are some other players as well. But, I mean, Yana Felder needs to step up off the bench, do her role, hopefully, and do her role in whether it's scoring, rebounding, defense. And if Danae Fritz needs to play, she needs to do her role. Jane Van Geinbeek, I know she only had 2 points, 0 for 2 on threes, 1 for 4 on free throws. I mean, we gotta need her to step up, and you want to limit your foul trouble and all this. And I doubt Lady Vasconcelos is gonna play, or Karen Ferrer, but Karen Ferrer might be like just for like a defensive stop or something. I don't know. So obviously, hopefully Asia Blackwell shoots the ball better than she did last game. She only had 1 point on 0 for 5 shooting, 0 for 1 on threes, 1 for 2 on free throws. But here's the difference. Here's the deal about her. She had 8 rebounds, so she could just step up in that category no matter what. I mean, that's the thing, and I know we need to get out of foul trouble. And hopefully Sarah Andrews could step up like she did in the first half. I know in the second half she got a little bit tired, but she still stepped up in terms of leadership. And Jada Walker, if she could repeat that performance, what she did, or close to it, like 10 points or more for sure, that would really be helpful. And she is one of those defensive stoppers that she could slow down Juju Watkins, but I don't know. There's a bit of a height difference, but you never know. She's faced taller guards before. I mean, you got to play good team defense around Juju Watkins. But you don't want to allow them to get open shots. And I know USC, for a fact, on defense does trap sometimes. So you got to adjust to it. And hopefully Darion LePage-Buck steps up like last game. I mean, both like whatever, like point scoring and rebounds and defense. Same thing goes for Bella Funaway. She had 4 blocks last game. That would be massive in this game. It would be, and hopefully she makes more. She makes some threes in this game. I know she only had 9 points, but the game before she had 19 and 11 boards, and she had 9 rebounds. 9 points, 9 rebounds. That's still a pretty good game. So, and 2 steals as well. So, anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button. See you guys later on the road to 600 subscribers. Of course, ultimate goal. It's 1,000 more. So, money out this course, like a video, comment video really helps YouTube algorithm, so more people could see it. Sharing the videos help as well, so more people could watch. And if you're watching and not subscribed, hit subscribe button. It's free, the notification bell as well. And no matter what happens here, this is very good experience for the team, for Baylor. I mean, for both of these teams, no matter what. And I know for sure Baylor only loses 3 players: Blackwell, Ferreira, and Dre Edwards. So everybody else can potentially return. And if Madison Bartley needs to play a little bit, she needs to do her role. I mean, that's another player I forgot to mention, but still, if she needs to play, she needs to do her role. So that's all.